Did you know that some of the everyday items we casually use or possess have origins that are surprisingly unusual and at times downright unsettling? Today, we're peeling back the layers of history to reveal the unexpected beginnings of things you might never have guessed to have such remarkable backstories. Let's begin with the humble umbrella, an object most of us have likely relied upon during a rainstorm. It turns out the origins of the umbrella are deeply entwined with ancient religious and social beliefs, stretching as far back as the earliest civilizations. The umbrella, as we know it today, began its journey in ancient Egypt and China, where it wasn't initially designed for rain protection. Instead, these were objects of power and authority. In Egypt, umbrellas were used exclusively for the pharaohs, and the architectural styling of many ancient umbrellas is thought to have symbolized the sky. Often, their usage was restricted to making important ceremonial appearances. In China, umbrellas date back to as early as 200 years ago and were symbols of aristocracy. These early forms were made of silk and housed on intricate bamboo frames, used solely to protect nobility from the sun. Interestingly, an essential element of their design, that of making umbrellas waterproof, wouldn't come about until later when wax was applied to the fabric. It was much later in 18th century Europe where they underwent a transformation into rain protection devices and slowly became accessible to the general public. But for a long time, carrying an umbrella in certain parts meant you belonged to an esteemed circle of society. Now, let's shift our focus to a toiletry that has paramount importance in our daily hygiene: the toothbrush. The path down which this simple cleansing implement has traveled is a testament to the inventive spirit of numerous cultures. Archaeological records suggest that even civilizations as old as ancient Babylonia and Egypt were employing tools akin to toothbrushes. The Babylonians and Egyptians used the frayed ends of twigs to rub along their teeth, effectively removing debris. These weren't just any twigs, but specifically chosen from trees known for their aromatic and cleansing properties, like those of the Salvadora persica, also known as the toothbrush tree. It's fascinating to note that dentistry and oral hygiene practices existed long before the modern understanding of germs and microbes. As societies advanced, so did the technologies surrounding dental care. Around the 15th century, the Chinese refined these early implements into something that closely resembled the toothbrush we recognize today, utilizing bristles from hogs' necks fastened to bamboo or bone handles. These materials were chosen for their accessibility and durability, although it took another few centuries for these tools to spread to Europe. Europeans preferred softer horsehair bristles, but it wasn't until nylon bristles were invented in the 20th century, courtesy of DuPont, that toothbrushes became the ubiquitous and hygienic tools we all use now. Quite the evolution from frayed twigs. Next on our list of intriguing everyday objects is the mirror. A mirror does more than reflect our image. It reflects humanity's timeless pursuit of understanding oneself and the world. The earliest mirrors, dating back circa 6000 BC in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, were mere polished stones. Replicas of the human visage were somewhat crude by today's standards. These early attempts inevitably transformed into finely polished copper and bronze mirrors in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. It took the ancient Romans to start using glass backed with gold leaf to evolve the art further, and eventually, 13th century European inventors in Venice mastered this craftsmanship, giving birth to the modern glass mirrors. Mirrors have been both revered and feared through history. While they were significant for promoting awareness of personal appearance, they also played roles in myths, legends, and literature as gateways to parallel worlds or as symbols of vanity. The fortunate ones who possessed the skill of mirror making in those past eras controlled highly lucrative trades. The process was a closely guarded secret, but what truly allowed the mirror to find its place in every household was the 19th century popularity boom of the glass industry and the Industrial Revolution, streamlining the production process. Another example, which might not immediately evoke an image of mysterious origins, can be found in our kitchen cupboards. The sandwich. An emblem of lunchtime, its origins have an entertaining and slightly peculiar backstory. Most have probably heard the tale of John Montagu, the fourth Earl of Sandwich, who lived in the 18th century. This earl was notoriously addicted to gambling. The story goes that to maintain his marathon gambling sessions without pausing for a formal meal, he instructed his valet to bring slices of meat tucked between two pieces of bread. This convenient amalgamation caught on, not just for its portability, but its revolutionary ability to allow eating with one hand while keeping the other free, whether for cards or other pursuits. However, the bread and filling combination significantly predates the Earl's time. Since ancient times, people have been using bread to encase meats or vegetables, partly as a culinary tool and partly as an edible dish. Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cultures were wrapping their food in flatbreads or pita long before the sandwich's namesake popularized the idea. Thus, while John Montagu's penchant for gambling indeed lent the sandwich its name, the concept itself traces back to far more culturally diverse roots. Shifting our lens to more personal adornments, eyeglasses too carry fascinating histories embedded in their lenses. Their inception dates back to the Roman philosopher Seneca, who, around 4 AD, would apparently read all the books in Rome by peering through a spherical glass container filled with water to magnify letters. The 13th century Italians first created wearable eyeglasses in Florence and Pisa, responding to a widespread call from scholars and monks to alleviate their reading struggles. These rudimentary glasses were novel in restoring sight, yet fragile. They lacked arms and would need a balancing act upon the nose, or require a securing ribbon around the neck. Remarkable progressions soon followed in the spectacles' design throughout Europe's Renaissance, particularly with the development of convex and concave lenses addressing a variety of visual impairments. Innovations never ceased, and as of today, from bifocals to photochromatic lenses, the convenience offered by those early iterations has undeniably come far while continually adapting to modern needs. Onward to an object worn daily by millions, the humble necktie is a testament to shifting fashions and social status. Although its modern form first appeared during the 17th century among Croatian mercenaries serving in France, who wore cloth sashes resembling what we call neckties today, their roots penetrate deeper. The court of King Louis Roman XIV was so enamored with this new accessory that it permeated through the social fabric, becoming an instant fashion statement among French elites. However, neckwear can be traced even further back to ancient China, where the terracotta army's soldiers safeguarded Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb. Many figurines appear to sport neck cloths, suggesting a stylish, maybe even symbolic, element of military attire. Through the centuries, the tie continued to be an evolving symbol of sophistication, giving rise to a myriad of styles and tying techniques. It's rather amusing to think that something so seemingly decorative has such a storied past and transformation. Finally, we speak of a highly valued possession that might be holding all your essentials right now: wallets. The sturdy but simple wallet began its life as a necessity for Greek citizens who carried food, often in pouches similar to bags. Throughout history, what we carried transformed. Renaissance-era pockets served as early iterations, mainly composed of small fabric pieces sewn into clothing where coins and small memorabilia were stored. However, things took an interesting turn post the invention of paper currency. The presence of banknotes revolutionized the design of wallets in the late 17th century, causing a shift from utilitarian money pouches to finely crafted, often leather-made accessories aimed to house paper bills. Beyond just a storage compartment, wallets became showcases of personality and social status. A journey from those simple pouches containing dried meats to today's RFID blocking technology-driven designs is quite the leap in innovation. Exploring these incredible, sometimes strange beginnings in the origins of our ordinary belongings not just reveals a great deal about human ingenuity and societal values throughout history, but also reflects our never-ending pursuit of comfort, efficiency, and identity. As time progresses, so do our objects of utility and decorations, continuously evolving while carrying forward rich tapestries of ever-evolving histories. Understanding these past stories allows us to appreciate the everyday items in our possession much differently, knowing they carry hidden stories that echo through time. And that's where we wrap things up for today's exploration into our history-steeped objects. Next time you use your umbrella or put on a tie, spare a thought for their intriguing pasts, a testament to the creativity and resilience of human cultures throughout history. Follow History Oddities for more fascinating stories from the past.